All right, for this video, the next one in the series of bodyweight exercises, we're going to look at 3 more exercises like we usually do. We're going to look, all of them are going to be kind of core related, abdominal related. Maybe the last exercise I'll show you will be, we'll have some hip abduction in there, working on a little hip mobility along with the core stability work. So we're going to go over a mountain climber, we're going to go over oblique dips, and we're going to go over a plank with some hip abduction. And again, today really is more about not just teaching you a new exercise, but teaching you correct technique and some things that you really need to emphasize when you do these exercises instead of just kind of going through the motions and doing them for fun. We need to refine the technique. I see a lot of things out of these exercises that I like to correct, and we'll look at those right now. So, for those 3 exercises, the first one we're going to start off with is the mountain climber. So, for the mountain climber, what I like to see is a nice tall plank, hands underneath the shoulders. Nice plank, tall plank, no arching. We're not pushing back into the feet. We're not over those hands, so your shoulders are right over those hands. Nice tall plank. And what we want to do is when we do that mountain climber, we want to drive that knee forward. As we do it, we're trying to get to the elbows or between the elbows without getting a lot of trunk flexion in there or hip extension, whatever you want to call that there. You want to try to avoid that. So we stay nice and tall when we do that exercise. We're driving those knees forward, trying not to bounce all over the place, taking all that out, trying to be really specific and driving those knees forward right there. So again, trying to take the bounce out, the rotation out, staying nice and tall, drive that knee forward, being strong and stable in that core. The second exercise is that oblique dip. So you've done oblique dips or pillar dips, pillar plank, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same exercise. And a couple of things we want to look at here before we initiate the exercise is a straight line from the ankle through the knee, through the hip, and through the shoulder. So we've got that nice straight line. We're not rotated over. We're not rotated open. And as we do it, we really want to make sure we press down into the floor, get the ear away from the shoulder. We start allowing that shoulder to come up. We may get some impingement problems in the shoulder because the head of that shoulder is driving up into that glenohumeral joint. We want to avoid that. So we press away, making sure we're pressing that floor down away from us. We bring the hips up. And then you're just going to make sure that line stays straight. And then you're going to dip up and down. So that's our oblique dip right there. If you want to add in some difficulty as you're here, you can add in some hip abduction or even a dip with a hip abduction. And again, if you want to unstack the feet, makes it a little easier. Still trying to keep a straight line from the knee through the hip, through the shoulder, doing that, guys, so you can dip there. And if you need to, same position, all you do is bend the knees coming up, and you can dip in this position as well to take a little bit of the difficulty away. So there's some variations of that oblique dip. The last one, we're going to go back to that tall plank, same as we emphasized before with the mountain climber, with those hands right underneath the shoulders when we do this exercise. And as we do this exercise, you're going to want some type of implement out beside of you, because we are going to do a plank with some hip abduction, making that mobility, making that hip work, making the mobility of that hip work as you do the exercise to add some difficulty to the tall plank. So I like to start off with whatever implement that is in line with the knee. So from that position, we then come up into a tall plank, and then we're going to rotate over and around. So just some hip abduction as we do that plank, really working on stability of the core. You're not rotating open as you do that exercise. You're not dropping over. Nice and tight core, staying stable here and making the hip do some work outside. If you want to make it more difficult, you just slide the implement, whatever you're stepping over, up a little bit, just in front of the knees. Same tall plank, tummy tight, drive up and over. Just like that. If you lack that mobility in the hip, instead of being at the knee, we drop down to about mid-calf. Then we go on all fours, right up into that tall plank, and then we're up and over. A little less difficult right there if you're lacking some mobility in that hip. So, mountain climber, work on emphasizing that tall plank, nice stable, driving those knees forward between the knees and elbows. Doing the oblique dip on the side. Again, emphasize and make sure you're in a straight line. You're not getting any type of rotation when you do the exercise. You're just dipping straight up and down. And And then that tall plank with a little bit of hip abduction. Again, making sure that plank is strong and stable, stepping over and back with that hip, both sides. And again, if you're adding this to an exercise routine, you can do this your pre-routine is kind of a warm-up, or you can add it post-routine to just give you a little finisher in there, or you can make a whole routine. If you go back and look at some of those body weight exercises we already have there, you can make an entire body weight routine regimen out of everything that's listed there. And check back, we'll have some more finish out before we switch gears the next couple of weeks. So check those videos, see what you think.